All right, what's going on, folks? Just figured I would do a quick review of the 2023 ZX4RR after, let's see how many miles I have here. 504 miles. Just completed my first service oil change. I've rode around some since then, so just figured I would give a couple thoughts on the bike. This is a US version bike. It has not been unrestricted yet, so keep all that in mind. I will be getting it flashed by Dave at V-Cycle Nut very shortly. I believe he's definitely the best mail-in flash you can get for these. So to boot, first thoughts, let's talk about seating position. It's a pretty neutral seating position, especially when you compare it to something like a ZX6R. You're not super leaned forward on the bike. It's a little bit more leaned over than like a Ninja 400. I'd say it is really similar to a stock second gen R3, so a 2019 plus as far as that goes. Still pretty comfy, but if you're going to be tracking it or something, I would definitely say you might want some lower clip-ons and some higher rear sets. I'm sure companies will be making rear sets for them very shortly. As far as the stock tune, it's definitely restricted. You can feel it in the higher RPM, but the feeling's very good even for stock. It's not like the on and off throttle is super smooth. There's no big jumps or lurches in the band, the power band, but above 10,000, 11,000, you can definitely feel the fuel cuts, but that's very easily tuned out and it'll be at its potential after that. The gearing's another thing that I know some people are going to be shortening up their gears. It does have very long gears, especially when you compare it to like a Ninja 400. I mean, first gear almost goes to 60 miles an hour. Third goes into the triple digits, but it takes a while to get there. I think it'll be a lot better once it gets tuned. I personally don't think I'll be getting any shorter gearing. I think the higher top speed of this over like a Ninja 400 is a really big bonus. I don't want to kill that in the name of acceleration, but let's say you're trying to get dialed in for track use, I definitely get that. Build quality to me is a step above the Ninja 400. I mean, this definitely feels like a ZX6, even maybe a tiny bit more premium just in the build quality. I don't believe these are built in Japan. I could be wrong. I think these might be built in Thailand, but that does not mean that it's made to any lower standards. I mean, just everything on the bike, from the controls and everything, built super well. Here's a good view of the dash. I've been messing around with some of the stuff on that. I think it's pretty cool, just the TFT display, how you can switch the colors. It's auto dimming. Then you also have the track mode dash that you can switch it to as well. And then as far as the suspension and whatnot goes, I have not messed with the clickers on the shock or the fork at all. I am about 165 pounds, and I'd say I'm a decently fast rider, probably above the average street rider, but I have not been pushing this thing super hard yet on twisties, or I have not got on track yet. But it feels super good. It feels super stable in the corners. You can definitely tell that the wider front and rear tire over a 400 make it not lean in quite as quickly, but it's also a lot more playful than a ZX6R, just because this has a 160 rear versus the 180. Still, I think that the 160 is the best tire choice for this bike. It feels super stable at speed as well, but it makes the corners really nice. Comparing it to a bike that I feel it competes with, like the R7, I think the 160 is the right choice versus how the R7 has the 180. I don't really get why Yamaha put a 180. I don't think that bike needs it at all, and it kind of kills a lot of the playfulness about it. As much as I love Yamahas, there's a lot of things I don't like about the R7 compared to this bike. I mean, yeah, it definitely has a lot more torque, but the seating position is really pretty much like an R6, and a majority of the riders on the R7 for sure are not even using them for tracks and races, so I don't really get the seating position, but that's just me. I guess while I'm talking about the tire size, I should also talk about the stock tires. They are Dunlop Sport Maxes which is the same tire that came on my R3 and I believe also comes on the Ninja 400. The R3 is a 140 rear with a 110 front. The Ninja is a 150/60 rear with a 110 front, and this is a 160 rear with a 120 front. These tires aren't the stickiest. They have a pretty long life, but if you're going to be really pushing them, I would definitely swap them out for something like the Pirelli Rosso 4s. You know, something like that is going to give you some more grip, especially on the edge of the tire. But overall, just for daily use, they are not a bad tire. I'll probably just be sticking with them until they wear out, unless I decide to do a track day with this bike, and then I'll get them swapped beforehand. As far as first mods I plan on doing, definitely the fender eliminator with the integrated taillight, which will be from TST Industries. I'm waiting on the full exhaust systems to come out. I know Graves is getting ready to work on theirs. Just waiting to see what everyone comes out with and make my pick. Definitely like the Akrapovic exhausts, so excited to see what they come out with, but the Graves is looking good as well. Stock brakes. These are really good for stock brakes. They're not Brimbos or anything like that. They're actually Kawasaki branded calipers, which I don't know who manufactures those. But if I am correct on this, I believe they're the same caliper as comes on the Ninja 1000 SX. I believe the pads are interchangeable, which leads me to believe that the calipers are the same. And in my opinion, that is more than enough stopping power for a bike that weighs this much less than the Ninja 1000 and has that much less horsepower. So I'd say brake feel and stopping power are both very good for a stock bike. Can't really comment too much on the rear brake as I have not used it too much yet. And really with a rear brake, you don't need a super amount of power because you'll just be locking it up. Obviously this bike has anti-lock, but you'd just be hitting the anti-lock. So really no benefit to having a super strong rear brake. Another first mod, I'll be getting rid of these. You can actually buy 2 more of these bolts and they will drop right in there. So you can just put that in there whenever you get an extra. Just clean it up a little bit. Stock levers are nice. Had to do my clutch adjustment because it had a lot of slack in it. After I did that, clutch feel is really good. One of my biggest gripes with the Ninja 400 is how the clutch is super soft. Like the clutch pull, it basically has no feel whenever you pull the clutch on a 400. And it's hard to get your engagement point and everything figured out. This is not at all like that. I mean, it's not stiff, but it's stiffer, which is a good thing. It has that feel so you can really get a hang of your grab point and whatnot. I know a lot of people are going to be curious about the factory quick shifter, the up and down quick shifter with the auto blip. And to be honest, it's not perfect, but it is very good. It definitely works better in higher RPMs, which is the case with most quick shifters. But I have experienced a couple like false neutrals, and with the stock tune, which I believe this will be changed when I get the aftermarket flash done, the kill times are just a little bit too long. So if you're just smacking upshifts or downshifts, you'll kind of experience a thing where it won't let you hit another downshift until you wait a second. I think it's just kind of killing the ignition for a little bit longer than you need to, but once that's resolved, it'll be really good. Definitely impressed that this comes on the bike stock, since I believe the ZX6R only has the upshift from the factory, so having the auto blip down is nice. Another quick thing is, I think it's neat that this bike comes with a helmet lock. I don't feel like you really see these on sport bikes anymore. It's just cool because if you're leaving your bike somewhere, you can lock up your helmet and not have to bring it in with you, and you definitely have a lower chance of it getting stolen than if you just chuck it on the mirror or something like you normally do. But yeah, this is pretty much the bike. Definitely gonna be doing some videos on board with it soon, especially once I get it opened up, unrestricted, all that good stuff. Overall, very happy with it. It's cool to have something that not too many people have. So any questions, leave them below and I will try and get back with you. Thanks for watching.